What's going on, Jets fans? Welcome into NYJ today. In this video, I'm going to be talking about should New York Jets fans be rooting against Sam Darnold and the Carolina Panthers in the 2021 season. Let's go ahead and get after it. Before we get into the video, if you could all do me a favor and jump the like button on this video. And if you're new here and you enjoy the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. We will be live streaming tonight, Wednesday, August 4th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you're watching this before the stream airs, please consider joining us for the live stream. We love interacting with you guys, and we look forward to talking to you about Jets training camp. I want to preface this video by saying it is not okay in any way to root for a player to ever get injured. I did not read that on Twitter. I haven't seen that from any Jets fans at all. But I want to make sure it's very clear here. I do not want to see anybody get hurt in the NFL, and I certainly don't want to see Sam Darnold, a former Jet and a good person, ever get injured. That's not something that I would ever actively root for. So I just want to make sure that's perfectly clear before I get into some of the reasons why it is okay for Jets fans to root against Sam Darnold and the Carolina Panthers in 2021. The first reason why it's okay to root against Sam Darnold and the Carolina Panthers should be an obvious one. If you're watching this video, I assume that you're a Jets fan just like me. We don't want him to succeed because he's not a New York Jet. It's not one of those situations where you have to hate Sam Darnold. You don't need to wish ill upon him, but we're not going to sit there on Sundays and just hope that and pray that we lose in this trade. Guys, we traded him away. He's no longer a Jet. Do you really want Sam Darnold to be, blowing up in the NFL and making this franchise look terrible in this trade? I get it. You want him to have some level of success because you don't want the guy to be out of the job. You're not rooting for that necessarily, but we don't want him to have some crazy amount of success when he leaves the New York Jets and gets Pro Bowl after Pro Bowl, wins a championship. That's just not something that you should be doing if you're a Jets fan. Now, if you're a Sam Darnold fan, go be a Sam Darnold fan with the Carolina Panthers. I'm a Jets fan. I'm rooting for my team to win that trade. And again, I think that's okay. That's in bounds to root for that. Reason number two why it's okay to root against Sam Darnold and the Carolina Panthers is because we hold their 22 second round pick and their 22 fourth round pick in the NFL draft. And it doesn't take a lot of knowledge of the NFL to understand if the Carolina Panthers lose more games than they win in this upcoming season, the Jets could hold an early second round pick and an early fourth round pick in an offseason that is absolutely enormous in moving this franchise further. We know that in the 21 offseason, they had a boatload of cap space. They had a ton of draft capital. And guys, the 22 offseason looks as good, if not stronger. We hold 2 first round picks. We hold 2 second round picks, a third, 2 fourths, and again, a top 5 amount of cap space in the National Football League. So if you're not rooting for the Jets to have better draft positioning, I'm not sure I understand, because who did we nab in the early second round in the 21 draft? Elijah Moore, who's been an absolute star in training camp so far this offseason. He hasn't proven anything yet in the NFL. I understand that. He hasn't played a single snap in a regular season game, but it's pretty clear to see, guys, that this guy is dominating training camp. And so if the Jets had been just slotted a few picks later in the second round, there's a good chance they don't land Elijah Moore. And I think that that could be ultimately the steal of the draft, especially on day 1 and day 2. He has the shot to really be the ultimate steal in those first 3 rounds. So don't scoff at the idea that if the Panthers lose a few extra games, that it's going to help the New York Jets to continue to build this roster and to build this team into a winning organization. Maybe you're like me and you don't click on New York media articles. Maybe you're also like me and you don't read into, PFF, and you don't read into ESPN and all these different media markets that are in the NFL and sports in general. But I'm just going to go ahead and I'll make it very, very clear here, guys. If Sam Darnold wins week 1 and goes on to have an absolute dominant season, a Pro Bowl season, we will never hear the end of it. Joe Douglas will face scrutiny. Robert Saleh will face scrutiny. And the media will paint the picture that the New York Jets are continuously a circus act. And I'm quite frankly, I'm so tired of hearing that bullshit narrative. The Jets made a decision on Sam Darnold and were within their right to make the decision that they made to move on from him. There were aspects of that decision that were safe. The Jets moved on from him because contractually it would have been a risky move to keep somebody who did not show or prove that he was going to be a top 10, top 15 quarterback in the National Football League. And so whatever your opinion is of Sam Darnold, and again, I just want to, if you're still watching this and you're a Sam Darnold believer, I do want to make sure it's clear here, no disrespect to anybody who is rooting for Sam Darnold to have some level of success. But again, I just want to make sure it's understood. We will get slammed, and Jets fans are going to be they're going to be lumped in on that. Everybody's going to be scrutinizing the New York Jets if Sam Darnold goes on to have a monstrous success. And so again, it's okay for you to root against him and the Carolina Panthers. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you agree or disagree, just go ahead and fill up the comments with your take. I would love to hear what you guys have to say, and I will respond to everybody. Just give me some time and I will get back to all of you. That's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching NYJ Today. Guys, if you could do me a favor and jet up the like button on this video, and if you're new here and you've enjoyed the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Go Jets, and I'll see you guys next time.